This was going to be about the peach tart, but it turned into the small food processor pie dough crust. And but here it is. Here's a finished peach tart with one crust that's just folded up. And that way it's just easy, and it's cooked right on a cookie tray with some parchment paper. And but to make the dough, and I make pie dough in a food processor. So this is right before your very eyes. This is some salt and sugar in there, and 1 cup of flour. And again, I love the small food processors because they can be used for lots of different things. And then I'm throwing in the vegetable shortening, which, by the way, make sure that you put a date on the can because this does not stay fresh forever. And you don't want that one to be a little bit rancid. And then I put a little butter in. So the recipe's below for everything for you in the description. And then I'm gonna put in some chilled water. So it's just water and ice cubes. And about 3 tablespoons. And this is going to make 1 pie dough homemade crust. And I'm going to put just a tiny bit more water in. You have to kind of gauge because it's going to form into a little pastry ball so that you don't have to do any of the blending yourself. And so it's starting to come together. And that's why you want to add the water slowly and even put, your finger in there and say, okay, does it need just a little more moisture, but not too much more? Because really, even a teaspoon can put it become too much moisture. And this is because, flour, depending on the humidity where you live, can be drier in some locations, and that's why you may need a little more moisture when you're making your pastries. So that feels just right. Now what I'm going to do is, and in the big food processor, it kind of forms into a dough, I think, or a big ball. I think it has more room. But all I have to do now is pull this out. And it's recommended always to chill your pastry dough. Put a plastic wrap around it and chill it in the fridge for a couple hours. The reality is, I'm just going to tell you, sometimes I don't do that because I don't have time. So again, you just have to sometimes wing it and it will turn out. This feels grand. It's just very pliable. And here's a tasting piece. And I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm going to roll this out right now. This is where I rolled the other one. A tiny bit of flour. And I also have the filling already, which is just fresh peaches, sugar, flour, and some fresh lemon juice, and that's all that is. And a little flour helps. And this is rolling out beautifully. It has not been chilled, and it's a very warm day. So in the interest of rushing, so I don't keep you too long on the video, what I want to do is, and this one is just way too hot to eat yet, so I'm just going to grab some parchment paper and But again, this is a good reminder of how to do that. And I'm just gonna throw this on here. Like that is now just been, and it's a little too thick. I could have made it a little thinner, but that's okay. And you don't wanna overfill the filling. So let's just see how it's gonna, yeah, that's about right. So a little, it's always better to do a little bit less filling than you think you need. I mean, to put less on than you think you need. And do you see how I'm just folding that around into a rustic tart? And that's going in the oven. So let me finish this up on a flat surface. And the recipes will tell you to go ahead and get the egg white and brush it around the edges, but I'm in a rush, man. I'm just gonna, if they won't eat it, then I'm just gonna eat it all myself. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven, and this is Get Real in the Kitchen with Deanna Olson. Please hit that subscribe button and check the recipe below it in the description. And it's live from Denver. One take. See you next time.